We are in Jardin Jeanne in Quebec. This is a sunken garden designed in 1938 by landscape architect Louis Perron. It's a classical sunken garden and has a very formal design. We find very strong axes that cross through the garden, and this creates long lines of vision. But this is where the formality in the design ends. As we take a closer look at the plantings, we find a much looser, freer fluidity and motion. A close-up view of the plant material reveals some very common plant material that we find in our gardens at home, but the use of those plants creates a very different experience. Just the long view of the beds could be very rigid and strong, but these lines are broken up by material draping over the edge, but more so by the motion of the plant material. The basic structure of the garden is two parallel terraced beds. In a lot of places, what we would see is some very large plant material in the back and progressively smaller material as we move towards the edge. But this planting design, what makes it so unique is that it breaks those rules. We find places like this where the tall material comes right out to the edge and sometimes just spills right over. And then other areas where the lower material moves back in. And this creates a nice dynamic that carries the eye and the viewer through the garden and really creates this nice motion, almost like waves of plant material. Another thing we find are some strong structural plants, maybe a bold color or a bold form, that start towards the edge and move back into the garden, and they kind of weave in among other material, and this helps again to create this fluidity and motion. Many large landscape plantings such as this are united, or the harmony is created by repeating color or plant material or perhaps an architectural form or structure. But in this garden, the unity is created simply through the fluidity and motion of the plant material that carries the viewer throughout the garden and creates a very dynamic experience. There's a lot to learn from simple plants here used in a brand new way, and surely I think will inspire many of us in our gardens at home.